Hello and welcome back to the Celtic Forever podcast. We're here to discuss everything Celtic, and today I'm joined by John to go over everything. How are you doing today, John?
All right, Xander, how's things?
Aye, things are okay. Feeling a wee bit better after the weekend's result against St Johnstone. Things have settled down a wee bit. In fact, that's where we'll start off. We'll start off with the St Johnstone game. How are you feeling now after that, buddy?
Still a wee bit raw for me. It's done now, isn't it? And the mind's obviously settling the weekend's game, which is it's not going to be easy at all, is it? But after the St Johnstone game, wee bit raw, but kind of not as bad as what it was when it first happened. It's always doom and gloom after you get a defeat, but you drop points at home, especially,
I felt like a defeat, so it's dropping 2 points that is as bad as a defeat. So we were nowhere near it. But obviously we played better than what we did against Kilmarnock the week before, but still not good enough, obviously. I suppose we can park that there just now. We move on. There's bigger things to worry about, bigger things to talk about, and we'll start with the possible signings and the signings that have come in. And obviously everybody's talking about the Lewis Palmer deal, signed in a 5-year deal. Another winger. I'm looking at the wingers we've got at Celtic just now. Abada, Talio, Yang, Maeda, Mikey Johnson, James Forrest, Haksabanovic. We're sort of overloaded with wingers, aren't we? We've brought in this boy in a 5-year deal, Palmer. How do you think this would be? Saw anything of this boy Palmer? Have you seen any videos on YouTube?
I watched every time you sign a player, you get the compilation clip, different goals in that he scored. He did score a few crackers, to be honest. Free kicks, no, that really good at the dead ball. He scored for a corner kick straight into the net.
Oh, did he?
Aye, that was one that stood out for me. Goes by players quite well, quite skillful, quite strong. I think he's obviously bought to be a replacement for Jota. I know, like he says, we've got a lot of wingers there, but I think you'll find a few of them will be gone in the transfer window. Hopefully, they'll be gone. Like Haksabanovic, I can't see him remaining there. Is he going to survive the transfer window? Will we loan him out or whatever?
It doesn't look like it. But do you think this guy's an upgrade on what we've got already? For what you've saw on YouTube?
Well, when you've seen Haksabanovic on YouTube, you thought he looks a player. So it's hard to go by, what was it, a 5-minute, 6-minute compilation. But he looks a more exciting player than Haksabanovic, and he can score for a dead ball, which is good, and he can put a half-decent cross in, which I've been saying for weeks, we're badly missing.
Mm-hmm. And you think he'll be right in against Rangers on Sunday?
It's hard to say in it, but if you're spending, what was it, 3.5 million or whatever on him, you've got to imagine he's going straight into the squad, don't you? He looks strong, he looks physically well built. He's not like a wee skinny guy or anything. So, and he's quite quick, puts in a good cross and good for a dead ball. So he's got a lot of good attributes. So I don't know if he'll go straight into the team though. I'm not sure.
Well, he's not a Celtic player. Lewis Palmer, 5-year deal, signed for Benfica. Good luck to the boy, and hopefully he does well. Moving on, we'll move to Nat Phillips on loan for a year. Well, 6 months to start with. Obviously, he's a centre back, 26 years old, 6'3" in height. Physical defender. We saw any of him, John?
I watched it again. I watched just a wee compilation video. I'd never heard of the guy before. But I think he made 30 odds, is it 25, 30 starts for Liverpool he's made in his career. He was on loan last season in the Championship. I can't mind the team, but I've just seen the wee compilation video. Looks really, really slow. That's the first thing I noticed. He's got absolutely no pace whatsoever. But he puts his body in the line. One of they kind of defenders.
Well, you're saying he's not got any pace, or he's not got much pace. You put him in beside Lagerbielke, that's 2 centre-backs with very little pace, because you've seen how he was beat for pace at the weekend against St Johnstone. So you've got they 2 in centre-back, against Rangers. How do you think they'll fare?
If that wee guy Matondo's gone at Nat Phillips, I don't fancy Nat Phillips' chances of getting close to him, because really watching the game last night, Rangers, that close game with PSV last night, that wee Matondo looks lightning fast, and I don't fancy any of your central defenders going up against him. He walked by them. But it's not all about pace, is it? When you're a defender, it's about timing and, getting your body position right before the striker even gets to the position to be able to run in front of you or in behind you or whatever. But he's going to be up against that wee guy, I think, come the weekend.
Aye.
Because he did have a great chance, that wee Matondo. I don't know if you watched the game. Went by about 4 other defenders, quite skillful, very unlucky and hit the post.
I watched the game last night. The Rangers were played off apart, but we'll come to the Rangers game a wee bit later
They
on.
played off apart. Just that one instant that stood out for me with them. But I think Nat Phillips, or Nathaniel, if you want to give him his proper name, he looks really slow, but he knows what he's doing when it comes to getting his body in front of the attacker. He's physically strong and he's got really long legs. I noticed that. And players are already buying him. He puts in what I could only deem as kind of dodgy slide tackles, but seemed to manage to get the ball with his long legs,
Well, if it's obviously it's not been confirmed yet. We'll watch a space on that one, but it's looking though the deal's just about done for Nat Phillips. So again, if he signs and he plays on Sunday, good luck to him. If he signs. All right, moving on. Paulo Bernardo from Benfica. This is just a rumour, obviously. It's quite a strong rumour, though. Central midfielder. Supposed to be a really talented young boy. If he's anything like Jota, then we'll coming for Benfica, then it'll be a half decent signing. But we need somebody in there to replace the likes of Turnbull, somebody to compete with Hatate and Matt O'Reilly. Have you seen or heard much of this boy?
Nah, never heard him. I've just seen the rumours. That's about it, really. But I don't know anything about the boy. But I've just seen the rumours. We'll just keep our eye on it and see. So you were probably right when you said there the last couple of weeks. I was concerned there wasn't going to be any signings, but you were right. It seems to be it's going to be last minute stuff.
Well, I forget this. I mean, for what I've heard and what I've read about this Paulo Bernardo, he seems like a decent quality midfielder, and that's what we need in there. We can't go through the season relying on Turnbull and Matt O'Reilly. I actually think we need a couple of signings in that central midfield position. So again, it's just another rumour. We've got one more day in the transfer window to go. We'll keep an eye on that one as well.
An enforcer's needed. We definitely need an enforcer in the centre of the park. Because I don't know, a Bruni type player. A bit of muscle in the centre of the park.
Well, this boy Bernardo's he's not a Bruni type player. He's more a number 8 type player. So attacking midfielder. As I said, we kind of go through the season with Turnbull in there. Nothing against Turnbull. I just don't think he's good enough for Celtic. We need more quality in there.
No, my feelings on Turnbull. I'll just be straight to the point. I've just not got time for the guy. He doesn't smile when he scores. He just looks in a downer all the time. Every time he plays for Celtic, he has a bad game. I would like to see him go in the transfer window. Honestly, I would love to see him go. It's not going to happen, but I would love to see him go.
Yeah. No, I think he'll be there for the foreseeable. Moving on to the rumours on a striker. Pierre Van Hooydonk's son. Van Hooijdonk, obviously. I don't think anybody's ever heard him, actually. I'd never heard him before I heard these rumours. But he's supposed to be a big, tall striker, physical, strong. Something we need up there, isn't it?
Aye, well, I didn't know he had a son that played, to be honest with you. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. Now, this guy's supposed to be a good goal scorer. Scored quite a few goals at the teams he's at just now. Physical, strong, knows where the net is, can hold the ball up well. Again, it's just another rumour, isn't it? It's nothing concrete. The only concrete player we've signed is Liz Palmer. Everything else is just rumours. So if we get another striker, I think we're in desperate need of another striker, to be honest. We can't go through the full season with just Kyogo, can we?
No, and he's not looked great this season either, has he, Kyogo? I know he got a couple of goals at the start of the season, but he just seems a bit lost now, doesn't he? He's been asked to play in positions he's no positions, but he's asked to play roles that he's not used to playing, coming back for the ball and all that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think Rodgers should go back to the way Postecoglou had the team playing. He's got the players there to do it, so why not do it?
No, he's gonna try and imprint his own style on the team. He's not going to just copy Postecoglou. He's going to want to do his own thing.
Nah, but you can copy, no copy him, but you can replicate. I suppose that's the same word, but you can replicate what Postecoglou done, but add your own wee bit of flavour to it, you know.
No, he's just ripped everything up with Postecoglou done at Celtic, and he's
ripped it up and threw it away. Yeah.
Nah, it's a different team we're watching just now. And it is going to take a few games for the team to gel again, but I think it will come good eventually. Moving on to back the rumours again. Players out. Ayeti moving to Turkey. Celtic hopefully receive £1.2 million for him. That'd be not a bad bit of business if we get rid of him, wouldn't it?
Aye, I see anybody paying 1.2 million for that guy. But aye, it'd be good to see him at the way. He must be collecting a handsome wage there, you know. Ex-Premiership player. Be on good wages at Celtic.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. He's on 20,000 a week, 25,000 a week, something like that. I don't think he's the highest paid player at Celtic, but he must be on around about 20,000 a week because he came for the Premier League, didn't he?
Aye, that's what I'm saying. He's an ex-Premiership player. He must be on a really, really high wage. Not high compared to the Premiership, but compared to certainly most of Scottish football, you know.
Well, hopefully that deal goes through. But again, we've got 24 hours to the transfer window closes. We'll watch that one as well. You heard any more rumours? Possible signings, John? You heard anything else?
No, just the ones you've mentioned, really.
Okay.
That's apart from Van Hooijdonk. I'd never heard. I didn't even know he had a son that played.
Mm-hmm. Aye. Well, that obviously came out yesterday. The rumours behind Van Hooijdonk. Whether there's any truth in it, the next 24 hours will tell. All right, moving on to Sunday, the big game on Sunday against Rangers at Ibrox. Rangers played last night. I think you mentioned it earlier. Got beat 5-1 with PSV Eindhoven. Obviously a damaging result for them. How do you think that's going to affect the game on Sunday, John?
Well, if it was Celtic playing at home, if you reverse that whole scenario, if it was Celtic playing in the playoffs and Rangers had qualified, if you reverse the whole thing, basically, you would look at it as being a Celtic fan. I would be thinking, we're playing at home, we've just been beat 5-1. I don't know, I'd still fancy Rangers to win that one, Xander.
Mm-hmm. And again, depending on who we bring in the next 24 hours, it's I don't know. Their heads are going to be really, really down. Celtic might bring in 4 or 5 players. You know, the balance could shift. You know, I'm not feeling as low as what I did about this game all of a sudden.
No, I hope you're right. I mean, I'm always pessimistic going into any game when you've not got any fans there, you know. But I don't know. I just can't see Celtic winning that one on Sunday, I'm afraid. I just can't see it. I hope I'm right, of course. I hope it's just my senses are all over the place just now because we haven't started the season well. Beat with Kilmarnock, couldn't beat St Johnstone at home. It doesn't fill you with confidence going into a derby, does it, really?
No, it does not. No, but you flip the coin and you think to yourself, we can't go and play like that forever either. We're going to improve eventually. Why no against Rangers on Sunday when their heats are done?
Well, this is it. I'm sure they all forgot about it come Saturday night as well before the game on Sunday. Everybody will have forgotten about the PSV result. But the good thing about that PSV result, they'll definitely not be signing anybody else in the, before the transfer window closes.
Mm-hmm.
Because that money was 40 million or whatever, 35 million. Well, they've lost it in that, haven't they?
Aye.
That's away.
Aye.
And we've got the Champions League draw to look forward to later the day, of course, 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've got, obviously, right now, I'd bite your hand off for a draw at Ibrox. Right now, I'd take a draw.
Oh, of course, aye.
Keeps us at the top of the league and we move on for there. But a win would be an extra bonus. But a draw, I'll take a draw right now. We'll move on to that. But we think the score will be in a wee minute. But I just wanted to mention the Rangers in Europa League now, so they're going to be playing on a Thursday and a Sunday for the foreseeable future. So that gives Celtic a wee bonus of starting their games first for the next couple of months. Puts them under a wee bit of extra pressure. But start with, and we went through the fall last season, Celtic playing it after Rangers. So it looks as though we're going to be starting quite a lot of our games first. Think that's going to help us any?
You're all for that though, aren't you? You like Celtic to play first. I've always been the reverse. I've always liked Celtic playing second because they know what they have to do. It's no helped us this season, mind you, but I think it's 50-50, Xander. It doesn't bother me who plays first and who plays second. It depends on what result you're looking for, if it's later in the season or whatever. Me personally, I prefer Celtic playing second because the players know what they have to do to stay top of the league or whatever. But I know you're all for it, the reversal with that. You like Celtic starting second, eh?
Well, you think about what happened this weekend.
First, sorry.
You think about what would have happened this weekend. If Celtic would have played first and beat St Johnstone, would have been 6 points clear, putting them under severe pressure against Ross County. But they played first, poked it back to Hull Square, and then Celtic had to play St Johnstone and put in a lacklustre performance. That's exactly what I think what happens when they play first.
Aye.
And that's exactly what happened at the weekend. But we're going to be playing first for the next couple of months anyway, so hopefully
that'll make you happy then, eh?
Hopefully that helps us a wee bit. All right, moving on to Sunday. The game is Sunday against Rangers. Obviously, we don't know what the team's going to be because we don't know who's leaving. We don't know who's coming in. Celtic are a bit up in the air now. Rangers have got a settled team. As you say, they'll not be bringing in any more players because they've lost it in the Champions League money. So it's hard to get a prediction when you don't know what the team's going to be. But I know you think we're going to get beat, but give me a quick score prediction. What you think the score is going to be?
I'm going to say 3-0. 3-0 Rangers, I mean. And I'm only going by recent performances. Rangers seem, but I know they're no great shakes. I watched the game last night, of course. They're no great shakes or anything like that. But I just think Celtic really are formed. Just no gelling at all, no clicking. They're really poor just now. And there's no Celtic fans there either. So again, it's 50,000 Rangers fans. I just can't see anything other than a Celtic defeat. And of course, I hope I'm 100% wrong and Celtic go it and 1-2-3-0. But like you say, right now I would take a draw, but I can't see it.
Well, I was looking at our Rangers defeat, Rangers win as well, actually. But I don't know, after last night and everything else with signing and you put everything together, I could see a draw. I could see a close fought game and the Celtic coming out of Ibrox with a draw. So my prediction is 1 each.
1 each. Well, I hope you're right. That sounds like a good score for me. If it finishes 1 each, I'll be over the moon with that. Because as every Celtic fan knows, right now we're not playing, are we? Been really poor. But it could, like you say, it could click this week. It could click in training. You just don't know the minute, do you?
No. And obviously after the Rangers game, it's it's a 2 week international break. So if we get beat, you've got to live with it for 2 weeks, I'm afraid.
Aye, well, I don't often hope my predictions are wrong, but that was my prediction anyway, 3-0, and I've never hoped more that I'm wrong. But that's just the feel that right now. That's the feeling I've got coming into this game.
Just to finish on, I was watching the game last night, watching the Rangers game, and I was listening to the commentators. And all of a sudden, being in the Europa League was the best thing for Rangers. They didn't want to be in the Champions League all of a sudden. And they mentioned a Celtic being in the Champions League. In fact, they didn't mention Celtic at all being in the Champions League.
There was a lot of things they were saying. I was like, what are these guys talking about? They were talking about how Dutch football is it's one of the top 4 leagues in the world and all that, and just because Rangers get pumped. And I was like, what's this guy talking about? All right, maybe it is. Dutch football is certainly a step above Scottish football. I'm sure you would agree with that.
Yeah.
But one of the top 4 leagues in the world. Let's see, we've got England, obviously, Spain, Germany, France, Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
Dutch football. It's one of the top. Sorry?
Italian as well.
Italian, aye. But they were saying last night it's one of the top 4 leagues in the world. I was like, these guys are just looking for any excuse to take the shine off this humping that they're getting.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was 5-1. Xander, that game was 5-1, going on 12-1.
Well, that's why I think we could get a result on Sunday, because Rangers have got that in them. I know Celtic aren't great just now, but we could turn up on Sunday, and they could play the way they did last night. That's why that's why I think we could get a result on Sunday. But I just laughed at McCoist and whoever don't know who the commentator was, but they just couldn't mention Celtic being in the Champions League. They refused to do it.
Nah, you're having on for 90 minutes. I think they mentioned Celtic once in injury time at the end of the game. But we're talking about I think with 5-10 minutes to go, they started turning their attentions to the weekend.
Aye. Well, that's it. All of a sudden, being in the Europa League was the best thing since sliced bread, and that was where they wanted to be for the start. But that's what we're up against, I suppose, isn't it?
Aye, they'll get smacked in that league as well, the Europa League.
Yeah, well, that's more their level into the Europa League. They seem to do well in that.
They were very lucky to get to the final. No taking away for any team that gets to a final with anything, but how lucky were they all the way through that. But no, I'm not really that bored with the commentators are saying. It was funny though, especially that fifth goal. That goal's own goal was delightful. What a night that was. Couldn't stop laughing at that.
Delightful.
It was delightful. It was just that keeper trying to get it. Was his name Butland? What a great name that is. I mean, it was a wee tap back. I think Alan McGregor would have got that.
Well, that's going to knock his confidence, losing 5 goals, isn't it? But we see this, he'll play a blinder on Sunday.
Aye.
But we'll move on for Sunday. We've got the predictions anyway. We'll move on. We'll obviously do another podcast on Sunday. But one more thing I want to bring up before we finish is the Champions League draw. How do you think that's going to go for Celtic today, John?
That's going to be tough, isn't it? There's only one way it can go. It's going to be tough. Celtic, we always get a really hard group. Your Real Madrid, Barcelona, all that stuff. Do you want an English team? Because I certainly don't after watching what happened to Hibs last week.
Well, Hibs sacked their manager after that, didn't they? They're looking for a new manager just now. I think was it 5-1?
5-1, aye.
Well, do you think Rangers?
Sorry, it was 5-0, wasn't it? It was 5-0, was it not?
Do you think Rangers will sack their manager after a 5-1?
No, definitely no sack them all. That's not happening.
Well, obviously the Champions League draw has not been done yet, and we'll keep our eye on that as well, and hopefully we get a more favourable draw, shall we say, rather than your usual PSGs or Barcelona or Real Madrid. Hopefully we'll get something a wee bit more favourable, something that will put us into the Europa League if we finish third. Anything you want to add to the end of the podcast, John?
Nah, well, I know it sounds all pessimistic saying 3-0 it'll be on Sunday, but like I keep saying, you don't know where it's going to be, and it can happen between now and Sunday, so you don't know. It's just right now, at this moment, I'm no feeling very confident at all going into it. Hopefully it could change. We could make a couple of signings before the transfer window closes, and it could put your confidence back up again, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know. The only thing I'd like to add is good luck to Aberdeen tonight in the Europa League, of course.
Yeah, good luck to Aberdeen. The Hearts playing as well tonight. Is it
Hearts and Hibs are playing tonight as well. I'll not be watching the Hibs game against Aston Villa. If they get beat 5-0 at home, I think it was 5-0. I don't think it was 5-1. They've no chance at Villa Park, have they? They've just not got any. They've not got a manager yet, have they? You fancied Neil Lennon for the job?
Aye. No, well, they've not got him down yet, so well, no that I've heard anyway. But as you say, good luck to the Scottish teams tonight.
I think Hearts are as good as well. But Aberdeen's at the game I'll be keeping an eye on tonight because they played really well last week. I was really proud of them.
They're at Pittodrie tonight, aren't they?
It's Pittodrie. They're playing the Swedish champions and played them off the park more or less in Sweden. And they're playing at Pittodrie tonight. It's a 2-week draw so far. So if you have nothing to do anybody tonight, tune into that game. Aberdeen against Hacken. Or Haken. I think it's pronounced Hacken. That's at Pittodrie tonight. I think it's an 8 o'clock kick-off. So that'll be a good game to watch. And they're straight into the Europa League if they win that one tonight.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Aberdeen are in Europe, aren't they? Even if they get beat, they dropped into the Conference League.
Aye, they're in the Conference League, but if they win the night, they're straight into the group. They're into the group stages of the Europa League, you know.
Yeah.
I'd take them as one of the Rangers teams in their group.
Aye, well, that's it. And that was another thing they mentioned last night in the commentary. If Rangers qualify, so early on, they said if Rangers qualify, they could get Celtic, but they don't know what they're talking about. They couldn't get Celtic. They can't draw teams for the same country in the group stage. No. So these guys don't know what they're talking about. Well, we know they don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, we'll leave it there, John. Good luck to Celtic on Sunday. Good luck to Celtic in the draw for the Champions League as well. Keep an eye on that. And we'll maybe do another wee podcast on Sunday post-match after the game. Thanks for coming on, John. Appreciate that, man.
Nah, thanks, Sander. Always good to talk.
I'll talk to you soon, right, buddy?
Okay, mate. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail, buddy. See you later.